Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Live. I'm David Thomas, Mr. Bill Anderson, Kenny Parker. We're here to talk some local sports, some college sports, and some pro sports today. We'll be doing some Titans talk about UT Vols and their situation going into the tournament and some other schools. And then, of course, we'll always stick with most of our time to our Bedford County teams, and a lot of action going on now, guys. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Cleaners, we provide quality services you can rely on. Located in Shelbyville, we're the area's leading dry cleaner, proudly serving customers throughout Bedford County since 2001. We provide same-day dry cleaning and laundry service as well as tuxedo rentals. For customer convenience, we offer delivery and also have a drive-through and overnight drop box.
For all your dry cleaning needs, call Corner Cleaners.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
All right, welcome back. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Kincaid Service Company, First Bank, and Corner Cleaners. Three great businesses here in Shelbyville that allow us to do the show. Bill, I know you got some scores to go over. We've got some baseball. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the county. Kenny, you're out. You umpiring yet? You already started?
Hot. Got one today.
Well, Bill, you got some scores for us?
Let's mention the boys' state tournament over in Murfreesboro. Cookeville upset Bartlett, and that may be a historic upset, 41-39. Bartlett was supposed to probably, if Todd Bobo had a line on that game, the line was probably 15 Bartlett, double digits.
Wow.
And Cookeville won.
Well,
and they made the state finals, and they play independent, so it's an all mid-state.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Central has always played Cookeville in the past. And their program has been struggling for years and years and years. So it's good to see somebody come back.
First time Cookeville made the state tournament in 70 years.
That's right. You know, that's one of the largest high schools in the state.
Yeah.
As far as enrollment.
You would think that they would have sports galore of every
Well, I mean, there's really good sports. Upperman's just right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Upperman's just got put out yesterday in the state. So playing some pretty good basketball up there.
Yeah. Monterey's right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Cumberland Plateau has always had good basketball programs, girls and boys. You look back over the years, and the Eaglettes have always played some of those up there. I can't think of there's Livingston Academy,
York,
York, all those schools up there. Bill, what you got for us baseball wise?
Baseball wise, I know we had the coach showing earlier, but anyway, Shelbyville, first game of the year, beats Murfreesboro Central Magnet 16-5. Then they had a tough game against Forest and just hit it right at them. We lost 9-1. Last night, we were supposed to have a home game out here to kind of show the place off, but due to the rain, didn't happen. So Middle Tennessee Christian said, why don't you come over here? We have turf. So the boys got on a bus, went up to Middle Tennessee Christian, and there's one pitcher they've got, I understand, throws up in the 90s. But Shelbyville beat Middle Tennessee Christian last night 5-4.
Well, I got a question about that. How can you change the venue of a game like that on the spur of the moment? Does that not violate a TSSAA rule based on homes? And
as long as officials can get there and both teams, no.
But if you could you see why we did it, because you wanted to get that game in if you can and not have to try to make it up somewhere else.
Yeah, you start trying to make these things up, it gets tough.
Real tough.
And baseball especially.
Does softball too.
Yeah, those games.
More so in baseball because of the pitch counts.
Right. And you get these games stacked up on top of each other, puts you in predicament sometimes. Mm-hmm. What else you got?
Cascade started the season 8-0 with a victory over Richland, and then they lost to Eagleville at Eagleville 9-6, and then they beat Richland again, played them again, and beat them 8-7.
Eagleville's back-to-back.
Eagleville pretty good.
State champions. Eagleville's won and coached by Coach Bassam.
Right.
But they've won the single A state championship back-to-back years.
You know something about baseball? It seems like it's equalized better as far as a big school playing a small school. These small schools can compete with these big schools in baseball where they can't in some of the others.
You know why Eagleville can compete so well? Because any kid in Rutherford County that wants to go to Eagleville can go to Eagleville.
They can go.
Any kid in Rutherford County that wants to go to Eagleville can go to Eagleville and be eligible.
Yeah. When you look at Cascade, you look at Community, you look at Central, Tullahoma, Coffee County, some of the others, Moore County. I bet you if you had a tournament together, they would all be in the mix in baseball, where they couldn't do it in football or basketball. It's just a different, level, it seems.
Community in baseball, their first game, they beat DeKalb County 6-5, and then they fell to Franklin County at Franklin County 11-1, and then Community fell to Eagleville 19-7. So again, Eagleville, as he would said, is pretty doggone good.
So we got softball going now.
Yep.
Next week we're going to have a special guest, right, Bill?
Coach Whitaker at Central High School will be on with us. Unless something changes with the game or something, he's planning on being with us. And Central, their first game was against Spring Hill. They were up 4-2. The game got called third, fourth inning due to a power loss. And their other game was they beat Franklin County 15-0.
Wow.
At Franklin County.
All right, so we'll have Coach Whitaker on next week. Kenny, are you doing mainly middle school games, or are you doing all?
No, I had a Cascade Rockville game the other day. I was supposed to have the Cheville Spring Hill game last Tuesday, but it got canceled somehow. But no, I should have had last night. I was scheduled to have Eagleville and Coffee County, so I've got a pretty good schedule this year, and it's next week really starts. This coming week really starts big. Then toward the end of the week, next week, week after next, we're on spring break. Riverdale always has their big tournament. They got over 100 teams coming into their tournament to play softball here in the mid-state. So
let's go back to baseball too. I know Community has that huge tournament. What's it called?
He's called it the Viking Classic, but he's talked about changing names because he's playing in a bunch of different.
Central's holding it. Cascade, they're at Community.
Forest.
I
think Eagleville's hosting some.
They got teams from all over the country.
Got teams from everywhere.
Yeah, that'll be
and a lot of teams. It's like what we said earlier. We got a lot of teams here this week that are on spring break that went down south and played at the Gulf Coast Classic. And well, next week you got a lot of northern teams that haven't started their seasons yet. Will come down for the warmer weather, and it'll be the first time a lot of them hit the field.
Well, hopefully we'll have some warmer weather. It looks like it's going to be cool next week.
Looks like it's going to rain next weekend.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. Anything else going on in high school sports that we need to talk about?
I'm going to hit the softball Community and Cascade real quick.
Right.
Communities opened their season and beat Kingston 1-0 in the first game. Then they beat Central Magnet. Community's pretty good in softball, 18-5.
Yeah, well, they've been to the state
back-to-back years. And then they lost to Marshall County 5-0 and rebounded last night and beat Hickman County 12-3. The Cascade girls lost to Blackman 10-0, and they lost to Moore County 6-5.
And they lost to Rockville 17-8.
Was that last night?
No, that was Thursday night.
Okay.
So that's the one I worked.
All right, guys. It's going wide open now. The season's rolling. So we'll have a lot of scores every week now. Most of these teams are playing 2 or 3 times a week. 2 times at least.
Exactly.
So we'll have a lot of activity from now till toward the end of school here. When does the season end? Is it right like 2 weeks before they?
It's right at the end of May.
Yeah, right at the end.
No, sorry,
April.
right at the beginning.
April.
Right at the beginning of May. I've got a couple of regular season games like May 1st and 2nd, and then the district tournament start.
So basically 2 weeks before school lets out, they're still playing baseball.
And make state championships
run over.
You could be playing
after schools.
Yeah, I got a general football question for you guys. When do we have spring football around here? Do you know?
They can start right now.
I thought somewhere right in now.
Yeah.
Start right now, but most of them, because a lot of, especially the smaller schools, share athletes so much. Some of them will go late April, 1st of May.
All right. Well, guys, let's stop for a second before we change gears and hear a word from our sponsors. First Bank here in Shelbyville.
I said, y'all watch it.
All right. So we're ready to shift gears now and start talking about a little college basketball. And I know volunteer fans are like shaking their head and scratching their head and wondering what happened yesterday. They got blown out.
Well, let me ask you this. It's SEC tournament.
Yeah.
And are we ready to start football season?
Yeah.
The top 3 seeds in the SEC went down yesterday.
And went down big.
The games weren't close.
I know.
Went down big.
How do you explain that?
Did you not care to be there? Did you? And in Tennessee's case, that's the worst I've seen them all year. Dalton Connect played terrible. He wouldn't play defense.
Yeah. Last week we were talking here about how good Tennessee was playing and going to be going to be one of the top 4.
No. Are they still a 2 seed at this point?
Yeah,
they'll be a 2.
They'll be a 2
because they won a
seed.
All right. So where do these teams that pull the upset like Mississippi State? Where do they go now?
We talked about that too. They're only going to take so many SEC teams. So with a team like Mississippi State, if they get in and win the tournament, they're going to cause one of these other SEC teams, and I don't know which way.
Well, Mississippi State was in anyway.
Yeah, they had 21 wins before they played yesterday.
Hey, they played well yesterday too.
Now, if we look down and see where Auburn blows out South Carolina 86-55, I didn't see the blowout coming there, but
you
they blew them out.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, here's a team that I think's on the bubble that needs to win the tournament to get in. They beat Kentucky handily 97-87. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
Well, Florida spanked one, didn't they?
Yeah, and then Florida puts it on Alabama. And I know Florida's playing well, but put it on them.
What does this say? What does this say about the big upsets?
I know going into halftime, because we was watching it. I hardly ever watch it. Going into Alabama came out big, and they were up almost double digits. And then we look up, and it's going in at halftime, and Florida's up 15, and it said on the screen they had it's like a 21-2 run. How in the world can you have a 21-2 run?
Well, I tell you, it seemed like Mississippi State had some 20-0 runs in theirs. I mean, they were pulled away. Tennessee would hit a 3 or something, and they would hit another, and then next thing you know, it's bam, 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 bam.
What blew me away, you're down like 22, whatever it was, the half.
Yeah.
Okay. Mississippi State had attempted 1 of 4 3-pointers. 1 of 4. They weren't shooting threes. They're going to the basket. Tennessee was 2 of 19 from 3.
I know.
Why do you keep throwing up the threes? That's not who they've been.
It was almost like desperation or something. Or I don't know.
They got outscored in the paint.
They were behind,
42-14.
and you got to
38-19 at halftime. They were doubled up at halftime.
Start playing that middle stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So
outscored in the paint 42-14. Adu was terrible. Awaka was terrible.
It looked like they just weren't there.
Yes.
So I don't know what that says about them coming.
You look that way next weekend, you're one and done.
Oh yeah, you're done. It's the Tennessee fade, man. How many times have you seen Tennessee early in the year be in that top 10, top 5, sneak up the top number 1 a couple times, and then at tournament time,
March rolls around.
Where are they? They're gone.
Mm.
This is a characteristic that's just not about the players.
No,
there's something else. I think Rick Barnes is a great coach, but something about the tournament
makes you wonder if he gets tight in March
or something.
I don't know. It ain't just Rick. It was who for him and all of them.
Yeah. All right. So what else we got as far as college? Who do y'all see?
Let's talk about the MTSU girls.
Yeah. Yes.
They're playing for the
championship,
big ball today.
And how many games they won this year?
18 in a row.
Total 31.
28-4.
Okay. They're still in the 20s. Okay.
And something else. One of my good friends I saw last week is going to be inducted into the National Federation Hall of Fame, and Coach Gary Rankin, that was at Riverdale,
right?
As Alcoa, and now he's at Boyd Buchanan. He's going to be inducted into the National Federation Hall of Fame, and one of about, I think it said 9 people from Tennessee, Coach Insel being one of them. Mr. Pack from Tullahoma being one of them as an official. So big shout out to Coach Rankin.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He's like the number fourth active coach in the United States as far as wins that are still coaching.
All right. Well, let's talk about the tournament again. Who do you guys see outside of the SEC? We know who the top 10 teams are, but do you see any sleepers out there that might sneak up and do something in the tournament? Or who do y'all think is going to be there at the end?
SEC wise or in general?
Just in general.
I'm going to tell you a team I watched. It's pretty tough. That Houston team.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I mean, they're pretty doggone tough.
I tell you, that big old boy for Purdue.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. He can move pretty decent compared
They've
to
got some players
to be
around him they didn't have a year ago.
To be so big,
he's fluid.
he is so athletic.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm playing on an 8-foot goal. That's about the way
Not
it looks.
upset that North Carolina's playing really well. They've got a really good ball club from the ACC. They're really good. But there's going to be some of these small schools, and this is what makes March fun.
Exactly.
St. Peter's, there's going to be somebody.
Yeah. They'll be in that Sweet 16. You never saw it
right.
coming. Do y'all think Tennessee makes the Sweet 16 now?
I think they make the Sweet 16 max, and they're done.
Well,
that's what I see.
I'm hoping they do that now after seeing yesterday.
Yes. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting to watch. But
did you notice Rick Barnes put Connett on the bench yesterday?
Yes, he did.
He benched him. He benched the dude too.
Yeah.
Last week, I asked you where you would be satisfied with Tennessee, and you said at least Final 8.
Yep.
Well, today you're saying 16. That's just one.
I mean, I'm
that's
satisfied.
just a difference of one win.
Doesn't mean I'm satisfied.
That's just a difference of one win. I know
but the way they played, it's not that they got beat; it's how they got beat.
How you play.
Totally dominated.
Exactly.
Every phase of the game, they got dominated. The cheerleaders probably got whipped too.
Watch out now.
And Mississippi State is not bad. They're lengthy, but they're not great either. I think you're going to see that.
They were yesterday.
Let's see how they do against Auburn today. I got a feeling Coach Pearl's going to put it on them.
Yep.
That's what I see happening. I see Coach Pearl putting it on them.
Yeah.
But think about this from the SEC tournament perspective. You're dependent on Kentucky Blue, Tennessee Orange. That's where the tickets were sold. I bet you can go up there and watch the game today for $5.
You can find a ticket laying on the sidewalk outside.
Because then people went back to Lexington. The people went to Knoxville. They are not happy.
That's who was going to fill that place
That's who was going to fill the place up.
Yeah. All right. Tamara Price, hello. Good morning. Good to see you this morning watching in. What else we got college-wise? Right now, this is it.
Mm-hmm. You got college baseball is kicking up, and you got like the top 10 and 8 of them are SEC schools.
Yeah, I know. It's unreal.
Well, softball, I was looking at the top softball schools. Just about every team that plays the SEC is in the top 20.
Yeah.
And then add 2 more, Oklahoma and Texas. And
well, just about at every sport now, the SEC is the dominating conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's so much confusion everywhere else in some of these other conferences, the way the football's splitting up, it's just weird all over the country. But the SEC is solid.
I really think with this NIL stuff and all, we're going to see a big shift. And the SEC is going to lose some strength to the northern schools, like we're already seeing the Ohio States, because there's more money up there. You're going to see a lot of it going to Texas.
Yeah.
Yep. Did y'all see Nick Saban testify in Congress about this and what he said? This was a big factor in him stopping and retiring. And
I don't know if it was a factor in him, but it was a factor in his wife saying, "Hey, why are we doing this?"
Well, he even came out and said too the way that his team responded after the loss in the playoff. I mean, he came out and said it. He said it wasn't the factor, but it was a factor. The way he said, we don't do that at Alabama.
Well, and when you get some of these coaches that say, "Hey, you can't come in unless you're going to give us so much money to talk to my kids and all," I mean, I understand they need to be paid, and I understand that a college coach like a Nick Saban is making big money. But they're doing that. They're trying to build character in kids.
That's right.
And you're not getting it anymore because if I can get in trouble, if I can go here and play and do what I want, and I'm not happy, then somebody can give me more money to go over here and play.
I think the big factor in this is
I
you
think
got
there
so
needs to
many people. Every kid coming to college now is using most every kid that has average talent or above is using it as a stepping stone. As I'm going to make some money and then I'm going to go to the next level. But how many of them actually can do that? And then what have they got?
And then when it's all over with, do they have an education?
Exactly. And Nick Saban is spot on, and his wife is spot on. What are we doing?
Mhm.
That's a good
Paying them
question.
is one thing, but if you're going to pay them, there has to be a structure and
Right.
limits, and that's what's not there.
There's
just
got to be.
boom.
That's exactly right.
All right, Kyle Brown asked this question to Kenny. Tennessee and Alabama play baseball today. What do you think of Alabama baseball, Kenny? Have you watched
They're
it?
supposed to be pretty good. I don't know, but I know Tennessee.
Tennessee's
well,
pretty
they're
good.
Tennessee
still
can
loaded.
slap the ball.
Yeah.
But it ought to be a pretty good. Is that a
Sure.
That's got to be a 3-game series. I don't know
Yep.
where it's
I
at.
don't
but
know.
I know Tennessee can hit the ball.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Alabama's supposed to be pretty good. So I
So
don't
it should
know.
be a pretty good series.
It ought to
then.
be a pretty good
Yeah.
series.
All right. Well, let's stop again, and before we jump into some Titans ball, let's hear from our sponsor, Kincaid Service Company. And guys, you know about Kincaid. We've been talking about them every week here. What a fine business they are, and we appreciate them sponsoring this show. Let's take a break and hear a word from them.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street today.
All righty, Titans talk, Bill. We've got a lot of stuff going on, Kenny. Stuff happened this week that, we all thought would happen with Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. We've been talking about that for 2 months now,
Mhm.
and it happened.
And it happened.
Now, how does it feel after you see that?
Good for Derrick Henry.
Good
Yeah.
for Derrick Henry. You got to feel good for Derrick Henry, and hopefully he can have a good run. I think he's still got some tread on his tires.
Oh, it wouldn't
And I
surprise
think
me if
this
he
was
don't
the-
get rejuvenated.
This was the best place for him to go
yeah,
to.
and he could very well lead the NFL in rushing.
Sure.
Very
But
well
I know
could.
he's going to have to share with Lamar. But
That's why you
but
can't stack the
speaking-
box.
Speaking with the Titans, exactly right. Titans, I thought they secured their offensive line up a little bit.
Yeah, they got
This
Got
two
the
week,
good
best
ones.
center
They
on
got-
the market.
Yeah.
They got two. They got a center and they got a tackle. And I tell you, I was really shocked that Brewer left
And got paid.
and got paid.
Well, somebody saw something.
Yeah, so he's a good player,
Yeah,
but he's just small.
yeah.
Right.
But Titans got the good left guard. Now they got a center. Hopefully the right tackle that they just signed from Washington.
He won't be
Comes
the
in.
tackle. It'll be Petit Ferrer, I would assume.
And, well, then he slides down into guard.
Hopefully
You
he
got
goes to guard.
Ferrer, and then you got
They cut Andre Dillard.
Yeah,
They cut him.
Cut
You
him.
paid him $9 million
I
to
know.
go home.
I know.
Hey, you know
And
what?
I liked it.
He needed to be
I
cut.
liked it.
You liked it.
And
All
they
right.
got a chance of getting one of the top offensive tackles.
Sure.
in there. So they could very well
Okay.
solidify that offensive line.
What are we getting Tony Pollard and paying him that kind of money?
I don't think it's as much money as you're thinking. But
With $30 million guaranteed.
But
no,
here-
no. It was a 3-year, $24 million deal. And really, it's only 2 years and $16 million.
Yeah.
I
That's
read
a little
something
too-
different. than that.
No.
But
Ain't no $30
the
million.
thing about Pollard and he's not a whole lot different than the style of running back. What's the young man?
Spears.
Spears.
Titans really need to draft a big back. They got to have some kind of change of pace.
Not going to do it. Not this team. Here's what I think they think. I think Callahan wants you to not know what's coming. Now, remember, Pollard 2 years ago was the franchise player for the Cowboys, and he broke his ankle badly.
Right.
Didn't look good the first part of last year. The second part of the year, he looked great.
He
But I
came
think
on.
it took him
Yeah.
a while to get that ankle healed.
Yeah, well, having confidence in it after
Now,
that.
Pollard's a little bit bigger than Spears, but I think what Callahan's envisioning is you don't want a big back coming in. I know I'm running the ball. And I
Well,
think
they're going to be a spread. Look at both of their backs.
how about
catch
both
a
of
ball.
them to the side to the quarterback and throwing
Can
screens?
catch the ball. You've got Ridley now, and you got Hopkins. So you got two pretty good receivers, which might make Burke a little better.
Could.
Let's hope.
I hope so too.
Tight end away. Their offense could make some noise this year.
Now let's get to Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
Did
let's
anybody
talk
see
about
that
him.
coming?
No.
All right, he was supposed to either go to the Patriots or the Jags. The Jags apparently had this done, but they owed the Falcons draft compensation from when they had gotten him from the Falcons. Well, they had a deal in place, but they wanted to wait till after 4 p.m. the other day because they had to give up a 3 if they waited till then. If they signed him before, they had to give up a second.
So they had to give up their second or third.
So instead of just going ahead and getting it done and giving up the 2, they tried to be slick, wait till 4 because they thought they had it in the bag, and they were only going to give up the 3. Well, they gave up the 3, all right. Little behold, Carthon sneaks in, grabs Ridley, and you're still out the 3.
With all these moves on offense, do you think that they're saying we're set on defense?
No.
We got to get
No,
some
we got
defensive
holes
backs.
everywhere.
Yeah. So what do you
And they don't have a whole lot of drafts.
Right.
And you know, we talked a little bit early, Bill. Tennessee's sitting in a great spot at number 7. They're sitting in a great spot because, you know, it's pretty much knows 1, 2, and 3 going to be quarterbacks.
Right.
All right.
Or you might have a receiver in there.
Number 4 is going to be the receiver.
Well, you think so?
Oh yeah, it's going to be the receiver. He's going to be either he's going to be 1 through 4.
Yeah.
He's going to be
I can
1
see him
through
being
4.
a 2 or a 3.
Okay, I don't disagree, but he's going to be. So you pretty much know who the top 4 is going to be. Now, 5 and 6 is you've got the Chargers. That's Harborough. You ain't got a clue what he's going to do. And let's just say,
cut off his receiver.
They
so
got
I'd say
rid
he
of
got a receiver. They got rid of
so,
Keenan Allen.
so let's just say
Take Mike Williams.
he goes in and he gets a receiver. Then you got whoever's number 6, and who?
The Giants.
The Giants. So you don't know what they're going to. But see, here's Tennessee at number 7. There's still a couple of pretty good quarterbacks, and there's some teams down below, like the Vikings, the Broncos, the Raiders, that are going to need a quarterback. It might be a good time to make a deal because you can still get you an offensive tackle, an offensive line. You can fall back in the draft, still get you one, and pick up. We don't have a 3rd round draft pick.
Nope.
So you could fall down, possibly pick up a number 2 or a number 3, and get 2 for 1, and still get the offensive player that you need. It might not be the boy from Notre Dame that everybody's thinking it might be, or the one from Penn State that everybody's thinking. But you still got a chance to get another player, and we all know they need players.
Okay, so backup quarterback wise, let's talk about that for a second.
They got that yesterday.
Who'd they sign? Mason
Rudolph.
Okay. All right. So then I was reading an article that Joe Flacco was even in to talk about coming down
Joe
here.
Flacco.
He's
in Indy. Yeah.
All right. So
It's kind of strange that Cleveland didn't want Flacco back after the way he played, and they took Jameis Winston.
You know who Cleveland wanted? Vrabel.
Really?
Mike Vrabel is at
Well,
Cleveland.
he got a job
He's there as a consultant.
Yeah, but that's exactly.
All right.
But
well, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays
Sure.
out.
Well,
A lot's happened this past
and
week.
all these, all these trades are going on, and they're really going to get, just like Minnesota made a trade with somebody the other day to get another one. So, what they're all talking about is Minnesota might be taking their 2 1s, moving it up to, we know there's another team that's like the Titans that's needing players, and that's New England, and they're sitting there at 3, could get one of the, so they could very well pick up 2 number 1 draft picks and give that one up. And, it's going to be.
Titans did sign a corner this week. The kid out of Cincinnati used to play for Dallas, Doozy or whatever his name is, really good corner. Also signed Kenneth Murray, the linebacker from the Chargers, who was a number 1 pick out of Oklahoma. And I just think he wasn't used right. Apparently the Titans think they can use him right. That was a nice pickup. Here's the loss for the week. Autry.
Yeah.
That's a loss.
That hurt.
That hurts, and you haven't replaced him yet. Hopefully they're going to replace him with somebody.
And I'll tell you somebody that's really done well in this free agency market, and the Titans have to play them twice a year, is Houston.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Houston's getting
They're
good.
building,
Houston's
silently
getting
building
big.
down there.
Let me give you all another sneaky free agent nobody's talking about. Marquez Brown, if he stays healthy to the Kansas City Chiefs, that he can run. That's going to be the guy for Kansas City that can take the top off the defense if he stays healthy. That's been the knock on Brown.
And I think come draft time, Kansas City may have a chance to get the kid from Texas, the wide receiver
Yeah,
that set
the
the
fast
all-time.
one. Yep. What about tight end for the Titans? That's one concern that I have. It looks like we've kind of just left that alone.
I don't know that you've left it alone. Just be honest and realistic. Titans weren't good on offense last year. I don't care who their quarterback was. It wasn't Tannehill's fault.
Chigga got talent.
But he's small. He's a small one.
But a lot of tight ends are small now. You've got to in the NFL. You got to have 2 or 3 different kinds of tight ends.
I don't see the other two. I don't see us having
but
2 or 3.
But they're out there. I mean, you can go out there and get.
So who is it going to be?
I do think if you watch the scheme at Cincinnati, that's what you got here. That's what we hired.
Yeah.
They don't use the tight end like we have traditionally here. And I think it's predicated more on wide receivers, running backs catching the ball, not tight ends. Not that you don't play them, but I think this staff is going to devalue tight end where Vrabel was much bigger on it.
I tell you, and another, Vrabel was big on the tight ends because he's pound man. Another thing we're talking about with this, me, I'm an offensive line person. We got an offensive line coach now.
Yeah,
he's getting some talent coming around there.
Yeah. Well, guys,
he must have said Dillard couldn't play at all.
Before we take another break, Ben Craig wants us to back up and talk about the boosters in college. He says, check out the top booster donor schools. That's your winners of the future. Exactly. Well, I think it's always been that way, but now with the NIL, it's really.
I think now it's just a little more up front.
I know it's
always going on.
It's not down under here
it's
anymore.
Not on the table
it's up here.
Bag.
Somebody told me, and I love him dead. He did a great job for Alabama last year. The Downs kid that went to Ohio State. Somebody said somebody just walked up to him and handed him the keys to a Range Rover.
Wow. That
used to
have to do that in the locker room, back in the dumpster.
In the dark.
And here's your NIL.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's stop again and hear from one of our sponsors, Corner Cleaners of Shelbyville, and we'll be back to wrap things up.
Cleaners, we provide quality services you can rely on. Located in Shelbyville, we're the area's leading dry cleaner, proudly serving customers throughout Bedford County since 2001. We provide same-day dry cleaning and laundry service as well as tuxedo rentals. For customer convenience, we offer delivery and also have a drive-through and overnight drop box.
For all your dry cleaning needs, call Corner Cleaners.
Again, we do want to thank all of our sponsors, Corner Cleaners, First Bank, and Kincaid Service Company, as always. And we appreciate those guys. You get out and support these local businesses. They are a jewel in the community, guys.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got coming up? I know this coming week we've got the coaches show, Bill.
Yeah, hopefully on Wednesday. Of course, we got makeup games. That may throw us off.
It's going to throw you off.
Yeah,
it probably may.
Let me talk about the Packers a little bit.
What about
got you a big running back?
Hey, they made 2 big name players.
Okay.
Xavier McKinney, Josh Jacobs, and both of them Alabama boys.
Both of them Alabama boys.
So what are you saying, Kenny?
I think the future's looking better.
Okay.
I did find it odd they played Josh Jacobs more than the Eagles played Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Well,
but both good signings for the Eagles and the Packers.
I don't disagree. I think
Aaron Jones was a good player,
but
he stayed hurt too much.
He stayed, and
and it was time to move.
And like I was saying, he's great. He was a great player. I don't know him personally. I get secondhand info. He was great, but he was hurt early. He was well late, so he was rested late, and he was rested when everybody else was tired. He had a great run. He's a great player. But
Packers soured on Batar. You saw they cut the tackle, didn't you?
Yeah.
Another guy couldn't stay healthy.
That's another guy that could, and another pillar of the community up there.
Where does Aaron's buddy AJ Dillon wind up?
He's re-signed.
Did he?
He re-signed back with the Packers.
Wow. Okay, that's
Okay,
good.
the other day,
that was. That
Rumor
the
was
big-
he was going to Big D.
Rumor was he was going to go to Dallas, but he signed a 1-year deal with Green Bay, so he'll be back.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. Who is the running back for the Dallas Cowboys?
Ezekiel Elliott is coming back. They say he's
Right
in
now,
talks
it's
right
a
now.
5'6" kid.
Yeah,
That's all they got.
Deuce.
Too small.
Uh-huh.
What is Dallas doing?
Don't talk about Deuce too bad. Deuce
He's
can
a runner.
play.
He is a player
can
now.
play.
But I tell you, the rumor is that Ezekiel Elliott is back on the table to go back.
Well, he's out there, and here's the thing about Dallas: they have no money to spend.
No, and they're gonna get
They
him
don't
cheap.
have no money to
They're
spend.
gonna get him cheap.
Well, whoever
Elliott's
they get,
done.
they're going to get
I
cheap.
know it.
Elliott's
That's
done.
why they're getting him cheap.
Elliott's done.
He
He
can't
left
be.
Dallas.
He
Yeah.
can't be a bell cow.
Yeah.
No,
Not
he's
anymore.
he's gotten older and he's lost.
And,
it,
and you
guys.
know, their running back could come out of the draft.
Very well could. Well, guys, let's wind things up. Again, everybody get out and support your local teams. Bedford County's got 3 teams, and then I guess Webb's going strong too.
Well, we got more than 3 teams. We got middle school teams.
Oh, yeah,
going,
yeah.
And
I'm talking
I
about
mean, it's
3
going-
Community Central and Cascade. They're all out there just going in every direction right now. Spring sports is active.
it's
Get out and
active.
support them. And we,
And if you see Kenny Parker umpiring, be sure to boo him real good.
yeah,
Yeah,
booing real
boo
good.
it.
Throw
Hey.
something every once in a while. Keep him away.
Maybe throw a
You don't get to cheer much if I make a right call. But
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for watching again. And we do appreciate our sponsors, as we mentioned before. We'll be back again, same time, same place next week, and we will have a special guest.